to me, and we're just going to go straight to the point, right? And before we get started, I would love you to invite your friends or colleagues that you believe would benefit or gain from this session today. So please stay with us and feel free to reach out to your friends and colleagues. Like I said, they can benefit from the session. You want them to be part of the session. Just reach out to them, send them the link to the session, and the more the merrier, pretty much. Okay, so welcome everyone who's just joining us. It's great to have you here with us. Thanks for spending your Saturday night with us here on the call. So I would like us to get started this way. Just a minute. Okay. All right, so I think we can start. So I'd really like to get to know us. Like I said, before we dive straight in, feel free to invite some of your friends, colleagues, and people that you believe would benefit from the session, and the more the merrier session. So for others that just joined us, we are actually just getting started, so you've not really missed anything. Now, I would love to get to know us. Like the topic says, how to make LinkedIn work for you. So if you've ever been contacted by a recruiter on LinkedIn, can you give me a thumbs up? If you've never been contacted by a recruiter, just give me a thumbs up, right? You've been contacted by a recruiter, thumbs up. You've never been contacted, thumbs down. So I'd love to see the reaction. So just pretty much see how we've been benefiting from LinkedIn. Because trust me, LinkedIn is very beneficial. Thank you, Adedamola. Damola says, no, he has never been contacted before. Okay, thank you very much for that. Who else wants to, I really love an engaging session, everyone. I really love an engaging session, a session where we can interact. So don't see this as a traditional form of training or anything like that. It's just for us to interact and see how this session can be of great benefit to you. And I mean, you're taking out time to be here today, so you need to get gain from it as much as possible. So please, I would love you to indulge me. So if you've ever been contacted by a recruiter, give me a thumbs down. We've seen Adedamola's reaction. If you've never been contacted, thumbs down. If you have been contacted, thumbs up. Thank you, Yetunde. Thank you for that. Yes, you have been contacted. Amazing. Okay, so I would also like to know how often we post on LinkedIn. So if you post at all, type 1 in the chat, right? If you don't post at all, type 2. But if you post, but it's once in a blue moon, type 3, right? So if you post 1, right? Like you post once a week, right? Type 1 in the chat. If you don't post at all, type 2. But then if you post but every now and then, like not often, type 3. So I'd love to see that while I share my screen. So we're going to get straight into the session. So please do not forget, you post once a week, 1 in the chat. You don't post at all, 2 in the chat. And then you kind of post but not often, right? Type 3 in the chat. Adedamola does not post at all. Now we can all see why Adedamola has not been contacted, right? But like I said, we're really going to get straight into the session. So let me share my screen. But just keep the interaction coming, guys. I would really, really love to see how we've been using LinkedIn, essentially. So my screen should come up right now. Yeah. So please let me know if you can see my screen already. Can you give me a thumbs up? You can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Right, so yeah, thank you. I've seen that. So we're just going to get started. For everyone just joining, you haven't missed. You've not missed much. The session just began, and all we've done so far is just introduction, getting to know each other, and everything else in between. So the session is pretty much on how to make LinkedIn work for you. Getting noticed by top recruiters in just a month, right? So I asked a question around people who have been contacted before. Adedamola said no, Yetunde said yes, she has been contacted. And I asked the question, if you have been using LinkedIn, say posting or not posting, just give me a reaction. Let me know what category you belong to. And we've seen message in the chat also regarding not posting at all. So let's see what you can do that would work for you and get you noticed. I, for one, I mean, I've had my own experience with LinkedIn in terms of being contacted by recruiters. So I'll be speaking from my experience, from what worked, and how it can work for you also. So without wasting too much of your time, we're here today purposely to gain knowledge, and this session is brought to you courtesy of Amdari. So Amdari is that platform that helps you gain real world experience. We know how hard and difficult, or challenging rather, it is to get a job in tech, especially after taking a course. You're struggling to land a job, recruiters are requesting you to have years of experience, right? Or experience at the very least. And lack of it equals being ghosted or not getting called back after an interview. So how do you go from being that person that doesn't get hired to getting hired? That's what Amdari is here for. Amdari is that middle thing, that middleman, let's put it that way, or that bridge, right? So everything regarding experience, we fix it for you. So we are a total career rebrand. We help you not just gain experience, we help you prep for interviews, we help you have, an interaction with the team. So it's pretty much an internship, right? An internship that gives you access to a team lead, as well as projects that prep you for the actual job, right? So essentially, Amdari in one sentence is just a platform that helps you get ready for the job market, ultimately prepping you for the job. Yeah. So what exactly, or what are the career paths that we focus on? So if you've taken a course in data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, SOC analysis, or threat intelligence, ethical hacking, or GRs, then Amdari is perfect for you. You've taken a course in this career path, you're struggling to land a job in this field, right? Amdari is what you need. Because like I said, it's a total career rebrand. And we'll get to that shortly. We'll get to all of the breakdown regarding how Amdari can help you. So, what's this session going to focus on? Pretty much how to make LinkedIn work for you, how to optimize your own LinkedIn to get noticed, the steps that you need to take, and also Amdari work experience internship, as well as our special offer for you. Now, Amdari is the brainchild of great tech giants like Ifemena and Adeza Suleiman. And pretty much one of the things that is very, very significant here is the number of people that they have helped transition into tech. So let's take it one at a time. Ifemena, for example, has a lot of experience working across the data ecosystem and helping people transition into the tech space. When I talk transition, I'm not saying we help you get the train or you get the knowledge. You actually get the job, right? That's essentially what I mean by actual transitioning. And he has helped over 2,500 people transition seamlessly into tech. He has worked in the UK, US, and Canada as a data science contractor, business data support lead, data analytics manager, to just mention a few, and has lots of experience working across industries like financial analysis, financial services, logistics, supply chain, health tech, again to mention a few. He's currently the co-founder of Amdari and Analytics and is based in Canada. Now we have Adeza Suleiman, the second co-founder at Amdari. He is also a tech leader with wealth of experience working across the UK and the US, currently based in Canada also. He has been able to help over 2,800 professionals transition into tech seamlessly. And again, like I said, transitioning, meaning gaining the skill, landing the job, right? And he has worked across sports, financial services, edtech, energy, and automobile sector. He's currently the co-founder of Amdari and Analytics. And then there is me, last but not the least. And I'm pretty much a dynamic business and tech executive. I have lots of experience working in film tech, edtech, and marketing. I've also helped over 1,000 plus people transition into tech from majorly through internship, okay? So I am currently, my background is in software engineering, product management, marketing, and tech entrepreneurship, and anything that has to do with human capital development. I am super passionate about it. That's why one of the things that we do here at Amdari It's really, really dear to my heart. I am one of the co-founders at Amdari and also the Chief Technology and Business Officer here at Amdari. Now, let's get straight into the session, all right? We're getting started, so please, I'd love you to fill the attendance form if you would love to get the, video recording of the session, as well as the slides from this session, right? So if you'd love to receive the slides from this session, I would love you to fill the form, all right? And one last thing, majorly, I would also like us to invite our friends, somebody that would benefit from this session. Please feel free to invite them, as we would love to have them here as well. So imagine opening your LinkedIn and seeing a message like this from a recruiter. How do you feel? If you feel excited receiving a message that says, "Hi, my name is this. I lead the technology team at XYZ company. By the way, this is a message I received from a recruiter on LinkedIn as at 2021. As you can see right here, the date stamp on my screen, right? So we're currently looking to hire a product manager, and your profile caught my interest. Is this something you would be interested in? If yes, I would look forward to having a conversation with you." Keyword, or rather key phrase in this regard. Key phrase, your profile caught my interest, right? And then of course I go ahead to respond. You can see my response here, more Victoria something. Now, this other person reaches out, a recruiter, as you can see here, HR administrator, legal officer, and researcher. And then she goes, "Hi, we're looking for a professional, highly motivated, detail-oriented web project manager." So the first one, product manager, the second one, web project manager, essentially digital products for both, right? And I was like, "Thank you for reaching out. Can you tell me more about job description?" Yada yada. Conversation just started from there. By the way, I got both jobs, but I could only take one because I was fresh in the first one that I took. As you can see, this was just January 2021. This one was July 2021. Same year, 6 months interval. So, and after then, it's been series and series of more messages from recruiters. How did I do it? What did I do exactly? And trust me, there are many more people that receive messages like this from recruiters. Why am I sharing this with all? We can see that truly recruiters reach out, right? How do they, check you out? What exactly are those search phrases that they use? We're going to get to that. But I just wanted to validate a major point. Recruiters do reach out. They headhunt on LinkedIn. They are on the search for somebody to fill a role in their company, right? So they need people. So if you're not getting a job on LinkedIn, maybe you're not putting yourself out there yet. Now, again, one thing I always love to say whenever we're having sessions like this at Amdari is, it's not a session to talk about the problem, but to address the problem and then provide a solution right here on the call, right? So we're not just going to say, "Oh, this is the problem, this is the problem." We're going to address the problem, and then we're going to take a look at how that problem can be solved. So you need to understand one thing, because most times people feel that once they just set up their LinkedIn profile, that's it. Recruiters reaching out means, yes, my profile is set up. No, you need to show up for yourself every day. Why am I saying that? Because LinkedIn is not your online CV, right? Your CV has its role to play. That's a separate thing. Your LinkedIn needs to say more, right? So it's majorly where you get to attract recruiters. It's where you get to brand yourself, right? Where you get to put yourself out there and position yourself in that type of career path or manner that you want to be recognized as, right? So if you are not doing so much on your LinkedIn, meaning all you have on your LinkedIn is just places you've worked, like under your experience, your name, profile picture, or not actually, because some people don't even have their profile picture on their platform. So if that's all you have there, then you're treating your LinkedIn as a resume, as a CV, and that should not be the case. It should be so much more, right? So you need to treat your platform like an actual branding platform, right? Because recruiters don't search for resumes. They search for keywords. They search for industry signals. They search for credibility markers. So if nothing on your LinkedIn is indicating that, right, then they will not even see it. Like you will not be noticeable. So when they search for a certain keywords, do you come out, right? When they search for certain or rather when they look out for certain signals, would that be on your profile? If no, they will move on. We'll talk about all those signals shortly. So if you want to get noticed in 30 days, you have to engineer visibility. Like I said, beyond making your LinkedIn look like a resume, you need to do so much more. Positioning, being visible, right? Having resources on your platform that makes it easy for you to be trusted, like proof of work, proof of value, right? Putting a face to everything you're posting, not everything, but and also having a lot of people to also back up your claim, right? There through either endorsements, recommendations, all of that. Can they trust you? Can they trust that you've done this before? Are you an actual professional in this space, an actual professional that has done something, or you are just a job seeker waiting for the next person to beg for a job, right? So what are the major things that you need to do to make your LinkedIn stand out? The foundation is always, the common knowledge. We all know this. Oh, complete your profile. If you go on YouTube today and you're watching any video, one of the things they'll tell you is make sure you attain all stars. Complete your profile, have your headline done, upload a picture, have experience on that, have your experience filled out, have recommendations, or maybe not, right? Or have location and all that, your job title, and then start connecting with people. That's basic knowledge, right? That's the foundation. A must do, right? Let me put it that way. It's something you must do. That's the first step. But after this step, some people stop at that. But it doesn't end there, because trust me, you can still be noticed, right? You can still be visible if you do all of this. And I will explain what I mean by that. You can still be visible if you do all of this. But what makes the recruiter send you a DM is the more, right? You can be visible with this, especially if you do the location thing right, have the standard title done right, attain all-star status, build connection as expected. You can definitely get spotted and noticed. When they visit your page, what else do they see, right? What else do they see that would get them to say, okay, I need to DM this person. I think this person is someone we should be speaking to, right? If there is nothing like that, then they would move on to the next person. I was having a conversation just 2 days ago with some of our interns at Amdari, and one thing someone said to me is, my profile gets visits, right? It gets visits from different people, but I never get a DM. Like sometimes I would even see that people viewing my profile are recruiters, right? People, probably HR or somebody on the leadership team that you can tell that can actually hire you, but they never send me a DM, right? There's never an action after that. And one thing I said was, apart from updating your LinkedIn, do you post? And she was like, no. I said, you're not giving them enough reason to send you a DM. That's just it, right? So let's see how we can be that person that gets a DM from recruiters. Now we're going to break it down step by step. I'd just like us to have a quick look at my own career trajectory. One thing we always say is, when you're trying to get a job in tech, right? When you're trying to get a job in tech, one thing you want to do is to make sure that, and via LinkedIn, by the way, you're trying to get a job in tech via LinkedIn. One thing you need to do is not just to have the standard industry job title, but also to have the job title in the field you're trying to get a job in. Most times we are all over the place. I was taking a look at some people's LinkedIn a couple of days ago. Trust me, I saw data analyst, I saw data scientist. Yeah, it's amazing that you are skilled in both or you gained knowledge in both, but you're trying to get a job, right? Would you want to get a job as this or as that? We always have preference. You might love both, but there is always one that supersedes the other. You would always want one more than you want the other, right? And there are ways you can communicate this perfectly. There are ways you can communicate this, but do not go ahead and have. So I was checking this person out. This person has product manager and data scientist on his headline right here, where you see co-founder CTBO for me. This person has data analyst and product manager. Sorry, data scientist. And guess what? When I clicked on his profile and I came to his experience, everything he has done is product management. Now, I see this person as a product manager trying to transition into data science. How is he going to get a job, or how is he going to get contacted by by a company trying to hire him for a data science role when everything else here says product manager, right? Now you're trying to transition. Yes, you have your previous skills. Don't get rid of it. That's perfect, right? You've worked in this capacity for years. You don't have to get rid of it. But you are trying to get a job in a new field. You're transitioning into that field. I, for one, you can see my career trajectory, right? I transitioned. So even before this, what is on my page, if you scroll down, is software developer. From a software developer, I transitioned into product management. My first job was as a project manager, then web project manager, and then product manager. You can see the trajectory, right? What field are you trying to build capacity in? What field are you trying to get a job in? If things are not tied together, they might not call you. So I check you out. I see data science on your headline. I see product manager on your headline. I'm like, okay, he probably has experience in both. I need the data science side of you. And then I click. But I don't see anything under experience or projects that says data science. But I see everything under product management. Obviously, someone who wants to hire a product manager would be the one to reach out to you. But does that help you? No, because you're trying to transition to data science, right? So it doesn't help him at all. So one thing you need to understand is it is very, very important to transition that way, right? So, and I need to mention something. While I was working here in this organization, I was working as a product marketer, right? I was working as a product marketer while I was working here. And as a product marketer, while in the company, I took the product management course and I used every opportunity in that company to work on projects. And that helped me to have this project manager experience under my belt. I was assigned projects. How was I assigned projects? It started as me jumping into other things that wasn't supposed to be mine, right? And that helped me have that experience. So instead of trying to go get internship or trying to go get what's it called, trying to say, oh, I'm trying to get a job as a project manager, but I don't have any experience under this, I used the opportunity I had to intern within the same organization that I was working in, right? Why am I saying this? You can't get a job without having some form of experience there. But the journey is different for different people, right? So how do you gain experience? That's why Amdari is here, right? I had to, even as a software developer, I had to intern, right? I went in for an internship in an organization. I was accepted, but I still had to show some mini projects, right? For me to even get accepted. So why am I saying this? Honestly, it's very hard to cheat, one's way into getting a job in tech because recruiters want to trust that you can do it. But we'll get to that shortly, right? So that's what my career trajectory looks like at a glance. Now, how do you optimize your LinkedIn? How have we done it for our interns, and what has been the result? This is one of our interns, right? You can see right here, his name is Francis Apua. And he has worked as a project management consultant at Amdari. That's the internship, right? That's the internship. Now, working as a project management consultant at Amdari, he started in March. And let's take a look at this. So we made LinkedIn work for him. I'll explain how we did that. Now, Francis got a job. You can see right here. Francis got a job. My intern landed a PM job at Deloitte. This message was sent by Francis' team lead. That's one of the specialists that we have at Amdari, right? Like I said, the internship at Amdari is a very, very interesting one because you're not working in isolation. You would have a team lead, right? You would have somebody and people that you work with. So you can see the message he sent to his team lead. He says, Mwane, I just got a call from Deloitte that the interview was successful. Starting onboarding in August. To God be the glory. Good morning, sir. And then his team lead says, Mwane is brother in Igbo, for those that are not Igbo on the call. So he says, brother, this has made my week. Congratulations. And then Mr. Francis says, now you do pass. Up Amdari, up Mr. Brown. This is how our interns are landing jobs. You can see right here on his page, there is nothing project management related. He had to start building that experience with the opportunity presented to him by Amdari, right? He started building that experience with the opportunity presented to him. I would not get a project management job myself if I didn't take advantage of the opportunity I had to intern and work on projects to build my experience immediately I was done taking the course. The same thing I did when I took my software development course, right? What I did immediately was to go in for internship. The reason why I went in for internship was because I never felt ready. And whenever I take a look at other people on LinkedIn, when I see their posts, I ask myself a question. I can't even do what this person is doing right now. Like, if I find myself in the job market with this person, applying to the same job as this person, would the recruiter pick me over this person? Obviously, no, because I can't speak at length about what this person is talking about. So, this is about me being one of the best in the industry as well, so that if I apply to a job, it's easy for me to be on the top of the choice list, right? Oh, who are we going with? Oh, this person ticks every box. This person doesn't tick all the boxes. She seems excited about the role. She seems interesting, but she has not really. And trust me, when you're trying to get a job, we're talking real data. So there is a lot of risk in the picture now. We're talking actual projects, actual tasks, actual company. So there is a lot of risk. You never worked anywhere before. You don't know how important it is to communicate. You don't know how important it is to follow this, approach or this strategy, and mistakes are made. It might cost the company a lot. So it's not low risk jumping into a company immediately after training. It's not low risk. It's high risk. Companies are not willing to risk it like that. That's why they need you to have tried it somewhere, learned from mistakes, because we make mistakes, right? And you will make mistakes on the job. But is it a controlled environment? Is it low risk? If the answer is no, they would want to go with somebody that would guarantee low risk for them, right? So this is how we have been able to help our interns. This is just one out of so many. We'll still see one or two more people subsequently. Now, Francis never worked as a project manager anyway. His first time working as a project manager was at Amdari. His internship started in March this year, and he got a job in July. You can see the message here says he's starting the job in August, which is this month, right? So how can we make your LinkedIn work for you as well? Let's get straight into the session, all right? So you too can get noticed by top recruiters in 30 days. How does that work? How can we make it work? First, you need to position yourself for recruiter search. We'll get into this. I'll show us, right? But this is just like a general overview. And in about 30 minutes time, we should actually be rounding up so I can take your questions, right? Or if you have somebody, like I said earlier, that would benefit from this session, please do well to invite them to join us. And we have a link that we've been dropping, which is the attendance form link. Also, please do well to fill that form. Now, first thing that you need to do, right, to get noticed is you need to position yourself for recruiter search. Remember, I didn't say, or rather, note I didn't say you need to update your LinkedIn profile. You need to, because that's the base, that's the first step, right? That's the first step. You can't even say you're starting without setting up your profile. So after you set up your profile, what next? Do you just abandon it and assume that it's your online CV? Don't do that, right? If you've been doing that before, do not do that. What you need to do is to take it a step further. Position yourself for recruiter search. How do you do that? I will get to that. Secondly, you need to reverse engineer the job description. Again, we would get to that. But let me just briefly touch base on that. Reverse engineering the job description is pretty much taking a look at the job descriptions in the field you're trying to get a job in. So let's say you're trying to get a job in data science. Check out job boards, about 10 to 20, right? Check out the different job postings and the requirements under each of these postings. What are those consistent must-haves? What are those consistent tools they want you to know how to use? What's the requirements? Are they talking about experience? How many years of experience? Are they talking about you knowing how to use this tool? How many tools they want you to know how to use? All of that you need to be able to have that idea. And then when you do that, make sure that everything in terms of you updating your LinkedIn is in alignment with that industry expectation, right? that industry, the recruiter's expectation. Make sure that your profile is in line, because when expectations are met, it is easy to achieve exactly what you want from their end, right? Now, thirdly, your content strategy. You need to engage to be seen beyond just posting, right? So you need to post, you also need to engage. You don't know who's under whose comment section, right? And your thought process, how you respond to something, how you talk about something can be a signal to that recruiter that, okay, let me check. So what are those posts that you need to engage in? Note I said strategically, right? Not intentionally. It's possible you're intentional, but you're not being strategic about it. So you need to be very strategic in addition to being intentional. So you're trying to get a job as a cybersecurity professional. Somebody makes a post on cybersecurity related frameworks or related methodologies or tools or certifications, right? They have a say, or rather they have a take on something, a subject, and then either you agree or you disagree. Just express your thoughts, right? In how you're doing that, you can capture a recruiter's attention. So be sure that you're talking something that is very valid, right? Not just anything, not just anyhow. Be sure that, yes, your facts are right. And of course, based on your experience, based on where you worked before, based on something you've experienced or people you've worked with before, you can have something to say. And again, you don't know who is under that comment section. So why am I saying this? Just try your hands on everything and be very, very consistent with trying your hands on all of those things. Positioning yourself, reverse engineering the job search, job description, as well as content strategy, from posting to engaging. So let's break it down. The first one is how to maximize visibility in recruiter search. So I would like to show us something real quick, right? And it is very important for us to take note of this. Now, connection is equal to visibility. You need to have quite a number of connections, but having a connection is not just, oh, for the purpose of saying I have 1,000 plus connections on LinkedIn, I have 2,000 plus. No, it's for it to be easy for you to get discovered. We'll get there. So let me just share my screen real quick. Sorry, I'm sharing something else rather. So let's go to my LinkedIn page. Okay. All right, so I believe this screen is coming up now. Yes, it's okay. So let's search for a job description. Let's search for, let's search for data analyst, right? Okay. And let's just search for that. No. All right. So we can see a couple of jobs posted. So this is me searching for data analyst jobs, right? I can switch it to people. Now, I want to explain something before I move on to people. This is me searching as a job seeker, right? This is me searching as a job seeker. These are the jobs that I have under data analytics that I searched for. Now, check out the location. Very importantly, check out the location. Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's because my location is Calgary, Alberta, Canada. If you check my LinkedIn, that's what you're going to see right there. My location is set to Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I was specific when I was setting my own location, right? You can make it broader. This is me narrowing it down to a specific location for the purpose of companies that would say we want hybrid or we want on-site jobs. We want somebody that would work on site or want somebody that would work hybrid, not remote. But if you're open to remote roles in Canada, you don't need to break it down to your exact location. You can just put Canada, right? So you can even see right here, it already says on site, right? You can see it right here. You can see right here, it says on site. So your location is very important. It plays a major role in you being noticed or you finding a job, right? Now, this is us viewing as job seekers. Now, because we are looking at this from the recruiter's point of view, what the recruiter is looking for is you, right? So let's switch things up to people. But note, everything here is just showing me Canada, right? Nothing else but Canada. Now let's go to people. Now, this is us searching as recruiter. So I am the recruiter and I want to hire a data analyst. It's not showing me data analyst in the UK. It's not showing me data analyst in um, Australia. It's showing me data analyst in Calgary because of my set location, right? If I change my location to the UK, because Amdari is also based in the UK, right? We're registered in the UK and Canada. Our headquarters is in Canada, right? So if I change my location to the UK, the people I'll be seeing are people in the UK. Why am I saying this? It is very important for you to make sure that your location is properly set to where you are open to work. So here's the thing. Some people can be in, let's say, the US. They prefer to work in the UK. They are open to working in the UK because probably they will be relocating to the UK in the next 3-4 months' time. So they want to get jobs in that location. What they are supposed to do is to change their location to the UK, right? You can set it to Birmingham, UK, right? Or anywhere, but just make sure that your location is not saying where you are not open to work. Let it say where you are open to work, right? So if you're in the UK, looking to get a job in the UK, your location has to be set to the UK. Now, if you're open to on-site or hybrid roles, you need to be very specific with your location. Now, it is going to prioritize you based on that. If you make it broader, imagine if there is anybody here that writes Canada, I will not see them because there are people that have indicated Calgary itself, right? So they are the only ones I'll be seeing. So please set your location to your city and country. City and country, very importantly, because even if you're open to remote roles or not, you don't know where the recruiter is. Amdari, for example, being in Canada, we still have remote workers across, right, across the globe. Everybody's not in Canada, right? We have people in Nigeria, we have people in the UK. So everybody at Amdari working in Amdari is not in Canada. So by so doing, you don't know who is going to be searching, right? So you writing, you not narrowing it down would mean, okay, you're in Canada, I'm trying to hire somebody in Canada. I don't mind if you're in Alberta, I don't mind if you're in Calgary. But because I am in Calgary, it's showing me people in Calgary. I'll just click, right? I'm not prioritizing based on location, but LinkedIn is prioritizing for me based on location. So I am not prioritizing based on location, but LinkedIn is doing that. So if that's how the LinkedIn's algorithm works, then you want to make sure that it works in your favor. So please set city and set location. You know that you're open to remote, you know that you're open to, but just for the purpose of you being a priority on LinkedIn, set your location. All right. So you can see right here that everybody is just Calgary, Alberta, and all of that. You can see it right here. So that's why it is very important to set location and that other end of things, like I mentioned. So your location, for you to maximize visibility for recruiter search, is very important. And you also need to have that location tagging in your the headline side of your profile. So let's check that out. So if we go to me and then we click on view profile, you would see right under my okay, it's not working. Just a minute. Okay. So you see right here under my headline, my location is here, right? My location is right here. So you want to make sure that your location is also right underneath your headline. Very, very important. And your job title needs to be set to the industry standard job title. Why am I saying industry standard job title? I promise you, some companies have unique name for different roles, right? But you're doing the same thing as somebody that is this. For example, you can be working in a company doing pretty much what a data scientist would do. But the company has it titled as senior machine learning engineer, or so let's take a look at this on my screen. For example, I searched for this job title. Let's click this. So we're trying to check the job posting of a data scientist. Now I click on data scientist. You can see that this company is listing it as machine learning engineer, right? This one is listing it as data senior consultant, data scientist, AI and data. When you get the job, it is going to, this is the job they are giving you, right? But this is already showing under the job posting of a data scientist. So if you are going to be listing your experience after you get this job, right, you want to still either leave it as data scientist, then maybe forward slash, or put like a stroke in between, and then write something else, right? But just make sure that you are using the industry standard job description, because now I am searching for jobs. LinkedIn is showing me both machine learning, and I only imputed data science jobs, right? But it's showing me machine learning, it's showing me AI and data, it's showing me different things. But when I search for people, it only showed me data and like the specific one I looked for, right? Because in the job description, you're doing the same thing, but the job title has to be in sync. So make sure that your job title, for example, we have different roles at Amdari, and you see this person carrying the title of growth analyst, but you're pretty much doing what a growth manager does. What's your LinkedIn profile supposed to carry? Growth manager, right? Because when somebody would want to set growth, if you want hear me. Someone, okay, someone unmuted. Hi Toby, you want to mute everyone. Mute everybody. Let me just mute you real quick. But please, Toby, mute everyone. All right. So you want to make sure that your job title carries the actual industry standard job title, because when you search for somebody like the people, it's going to carry that actual job title, right? But when you search for the job itself, depending on how all these companies decide to, name the role, you can still see that it's still data scientist, but they still have senior consultants, AI and data. So different job companies have different titles for their job roles, openings, and everything. So you want to make sure that on your profile, it carries the actual industry standard job title, and especially the one that you're trying to work in. So let's get back to my slide right here. And okay. So like I said, I'll be taking questions right after my presentation, but let's just proceed with everything that we're discussing. So that's one of the first steps, right? The second step that I would advise for you to implement is for you to have a very, very strong profile. A very, very strong profile. Now, attaining all-star status is very important because it means that you filled in every necessary detail that a recruiter would want to have information on. Oh, they want to know where you've worked before, if you have experience. They want to see a summary of who you are. They want to know where you gained knowledge, right? They want to know the skills you have. And if you have certification also, okay, that's icing on the cake. It's fine. Not a deal breaker, but it's fine, right? They would like to also know that. Now, if your profile does not have all of this, then it's not giving them all the information that they need, right? So starting first, like I said, there are basics that you need to always do. The first step, uploading a profile picture, which is a professional profile picture, right? And also having a proper headline in alignment with your industry. Now let's take a look at what some of our interns have. Let's look at Tolu Adekunjo Ajibogun. She's one of the interns at Amdari. So let's take a look at her profile, right? So let's just quickly take a look at her profile right here. Well, as you can see on my screen, her headline is properly detailed, right? Okay. Just a minute, please. So you can see her headline says business analyst. She has a proper professional picture, and she also has a proper banner, right? So for the banner part, I would explain something real quick. It's very, very important for us to take notice of some things, right? So let me quickly share my LinkedIn screen again so that we can just take a look at it live from the page and not just the screenshot. So when we visit Tolu's page, as you can see right here on my screen, now, she has business analyst here, data analytics and process improvement. Now you can tell that this is a business analyst with proper data analytical skills. Why am I saying proper data analytical skills? Because I was speaking to a business analyst a couple of months ago, and I was trying to hire her. We're trying to hire her here at Amdari. And I asked her a question, right? Because she seemed not to have a very strong data analytics background or skills or exposure. Then I said, as a business analyst, do you think data analytics is very important? Do you think knowing how to analyze data is very important? She said, yes, it's very important. I said, so do you have that? She said, not at the moment, right? So I said, did you transition? Did you move up the ladder into being a business analyst from a project management role? And she said, yes. Why am I able to deduce this like easily, right? Because rather as a product manager, she said yes. And one thing I asked her was, because it's kind of a path I've also worked, right? It's easy for you as a project or product manager to assume the role of a business analyst, especially if you're the type that you love to do so much more than what you're doing. You know, we have different people in organizations, those people that would restrict themselves to just their job title, just what they are hired for. Oh, I was not hired to do this. I was not hired to do that. Then we have those people that are open to more, right? They don't mind you adding more tasks to their tasks. They would want to do more. They would want to do more. Personally, I kind of assumed that position also when I was working in my previous organization, where as a product manager, I was just concerned about everything that had to do with the business, the processes, the data side of things. I was just very interested, and I started doing the job of a business analyst. But I didn't actually take that business analytics course, right? So what that meant was I needed to be very, very knowledgeable about data, right? So yes, I already know this process. I'm already very familiar with this. But am I a data analyst? Like, am I that strong in my analytical side of things? No, right? So that was how I was able to deduce that her journey was just very much similar, right? So, and then I told her that, okay, for this role, we actually need somebody very strong in data analytics, right? So why am I saying this? Because her indicating this is a good thing. Her indicating this on her page. Sorry. Her indicating, I think I clicked on something else. Let me go back to her page. So her indicating that on her profile is a very, very good thing. Sorry, guys, for that breaking transmission. Okay, so it's a very good thing because it's very important for you to indicate exactly your strengths and areas of why do we have this here? Just a minute, please. So it's loading. So we'll scroll down to also see other things regarding her. Sorry, guys, for that, please. So just take a look at all that. So, but let me still proceed while we're waiting for that to load, right? So essentially, she had all that. But one thing I also need to mention is the fact that her work experience says business analyst, right, at Amdari. So when we scroll down a bit, I see it's coming up now. When we scroll down a bit, you can see that her work experience says business analyst. It's easy for this person to get a job. And beyond just that work experience showing business analyst, she also has posts that shows thought leadership. So it's not exactly screaming, I'm a job seeker, I need a job, but this person is actually in search of a job, right? I mean, that explains why she's interning at Amdari. So let's scroll down a bit. You can see right here, it says business analyst consultant at Amdari. Her internship started in April 2025, right? You can see it right there. So this carrying exactly who she is and also what she has done. And look at the location, United Kingdom, right? So when we scroll a bit up, I want to show us something under featured. These are the type of posts that she's putting out. Requirement gathering isn't just about capturing stakeholder requests. This post was made a few days ago, and she has this as well. Again, posting to show that, posting not to scream, I need a job, because at the end of the day, recruiters will still reach out to you. So post to show your knowledge, things that you're good at, areas that you're very, very experienced in, right? You want to show all of that. And let's come back to the other screen real quick. So I just wanted us to see how one of the people that we have interning at Amdari, how their page looks like. We see the professional picture and we see the thought leadership post that she also has. So it's very important for us to position ourselves to be that person, right? Now, the keywords and the SEO for recruiter searches. This is also very important. Reverse engineer the process. Now, your job description needs to, sorry, your job description under what you've done before needs to match exactly what recruiters list under job description when they are trying to hire people. That was why I said we need to know how to reverse engineer this process. But please do not limit it to making sure that the job description under sorry, your roles and responsibility under what you've done before. Don't make it just match the job description, but make sure that you actually have that knowledge. Because yes, you can get the DM from the recruiter. This session is not for you to just get the DM from the recruiter. This session is for you to get the DM from the recruiter and also get the job when they get to meet you. So if everything on your LinkedIn says awesome, good to go, make sure that when they meet you, your interaction with them also says awesome, good to go. Let it signal everything they want to see in their next staff member, right? So let's take a look at this. What you can do is go to the job board on LinkedIn, copy about a couple of job postings, right? Copy like 10. You do it one step at a time, and then paste it into a word cloud generator. So let's do that real quick. I'll go to the job board on LinkedIn, and then I would copy something. So let's go to a word cloud generator. All right, so let's go to a word cloud generator. So let me come to this part. So we've already searched for different jobs earlier. So let me search for data. No, let's do data analyst, right? So I am under this post on LinkedIn, marketing data specialist. And yeah, this one is in Canada. So I'm going to copy the job description or pretty much everything under that job posting, right? And then I'll paste it. So what you can do is under the job description, you want to copy it. Under the requirements, you want to copy it also. What are the things they need you to have? So that it's easy for you to paste something under your bio, something under your experience, and then something under your headline, right? So one for the headline, one for the about section, which is your bio, and one for the experience section. So about the job, this is perfect for about you. So under about the job, let's copy what they have here. Right, sorry. So let's look at about the role. So when you scroll down a bit, just a minute, please. Okay, so when you copy the content under about the role, it's copying more than what I want. So that's why. So let's paste it right here in the cloud, word cloud generator, right? Okay, so once you do that, now let's enter to see what it's going to generate for us. Now, about it wants you to be able to do data tracking, right? Working across teams, right here. They want you to have knowledge of dashboard creation. They want you to be very familiar with platform management and all of that. Now let's take a look at, so you can write the about side of you to make sure that you're capturing, and like I said, please do not restrict yourself just to one job posting. Do for like 10 to 20, right? I mean, put in so much effort to ensure that you are that person. So under experience, let's copy what they have. So under experience, let's copy what they have and paste it right here. So I'll paste it and let's click on enter. So what exactly do they want you to do, right? They want you to be able to, they want you to be very familiar with maintaining and tracking data, analytics, and everything, even e-commerce. So I think they are requiring you to have something regarding that industry as well. Again, please do not restrict yourself just to one job posting, because some of these job posting can be very, very funny. Now, let's take a look at your qualities, the qualities they expect you to have, right? Paste that also here. So based on everything that it's generating for you, right, you want to make sure that you are 100% distributing it properly across different sections of your profile, right? You're distributing it. Okay, something coming up on my screen. Just seeing this. Sorry, guys. Okay, just came up. So you want to make sure that it is distributing it properly, and then also using a very good word cloud generator is also another thing, right? So I'm trying to even see the name of that one I used earlier, but I can't find it. So that's why I'm using this one. Not all the word cloud generators are 100% perfect, so you don't want to use the ones that are not good enough, especially in helping you generate it. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. This particular one is a free one. So let me go back to the screen I was sharing earlier. So use the word cloud generator to understand exactly how to distribute your strength, right? Under about, under your headline, and then under your job description, like the responsibilities and things you've done before, right? So this was the one I did for data science. And you can see that for this one, they need you to have AI knowledge, know how to build AI models, know how to build, know how to do machine learning and everything like that. Okay, so this is an example of one of our interns again, whose job title matches the job role that she got. We've said so much about making sure that everything is industry standard. Now, this lady interned as a project manager at Amdari. Typically, as an intern at Amdari, what we put on your job description is project management consultant. But because she knows exactly what she wants and the type of job she wants to get, she puts information technology project manager. Remember what I said, sometimes the title in your company is not in alignment with the industry title. So for you to be easily found, you want to make sure that your job title on LinkedIn, you're doing the same thing, right? It's the job title that is different. So in her case, she wrote information technology project manager, because remember, you can be a project manager in consulting, you can, sorry, construction company, you can be a project manager in hospitality, right? Different industries. So you know exactly the path you're chasing. So make sure that everything works in your favor in that regard. So she started her internship in January 2025, as you can see here, and she got a job in May 2025 as an information technology business and project manager. And you can see what she did at Amdari. Everything matches. So you want to make sure that it matches for you. Now, credibility signals recruiter trust. So you want to get endorsements, right? You want to get recommendation, and you want to also indicate your certifications and badges. Let me show us something real quick from my own profile, right? This is very, very important. You want to really, really ensure that you search for it. Make sure you get it, right? It's very important. Sometimes people either don't really reach out to their colleagues to give them recommendation or anything like that. So let's come to my profile again and see under endorsements. Funny enough, I've never really requested for endorsements. Actually, I have never requested for endorsements. I just see that somebody endorsed you and I'm like, oh, okay. But in terms of recommendation, I would always reach out to some of my colleagues, even past colleagues. Oh, can you give me a recommendation, please? And they would give you a recommendation. I remember always requesting for recommendation back then when I was, working with different organizations. Right here on my page, you can see skills and endorsement. So you can see that I have endorsement for 27 skills, right? And it was endorsed, I see 6 endorsements here, endorsed by 4 people in the last 4 months. That's what I see here. You can see show us skills. So you can view all of the skills that have been endorsed by these people, 27 skills. So you want to be that person. And I believe it's from posting, because to be honest, I've never requested for endorsements, right? So you can see people management was endorsed, operational management was endorsed, process improvement. Remember what I said about not going for project management course, but transitioning into that, right? Because of capacity and everything. And the project I exposed myself to. You can see new business development, it was endorsed. Web development, remember what I said about being a software developer. Web development was endorsed. I have 13 endorsements for that. I have 12 endorsements for web design and responsive web design, online marketing, because remember what I said about being a product marketer, front-end development, digital marketing, writing, HTML5, WordPress, social media, search engine optimization, all of these endorsements. Honestly, I don't know how people are endorsing me for this because I really never requested for it. I was surprised when I saw that it's 27 endorsements. You want to be that person that posts frequently. Again, like I said, probably because I was posting, that was why I got those endorsements. I really would not be able to say, right? So you also want to get recommendations, right, from people you've worked with. And the caliber of these people is also very important. Who are the people you've worked with? You be very, very um very open to giving us. So I've also given recommendations, as you can see right here. I've given recommendations and I've also received recommendations, right? So you want to give recommendations, you want to also make sure that you reach out deliberately, please, deliberately, to get recommendations. Because if you don't ask, I don't think I'll just sit down and randomly say, oh, let me give you the whole recommendation. But if you ask, of course, oh, we've worked together. I know how awesome he was in the program, or rather, not program now. I know how awesome a colleague he was and all that. And I would go ahead and give him my recommendation, right? So you want to also do that. And I also always say something. And oh, yes, I also have certification, but I think I only put one. Yes, right here underneath this part, right? So under your featured also, you want to be very strategic about it. This was when I was featured as one of the, what was the post about again? Let's click it. So something women in something, I really cannot remember. Yeah, it was by TEDx. So scroll down a bit. 50 inspiring women in social development. Yes. So that was, the feature right here. And of course, I had to repost. I didn't post about it. I just had to repost because I was like, okay, I don't know why I didn't post about it. Funny enough, but thankfully I posted about it and it's been under my featured section. So you want to have things that portray you as this person in your industry, right? Is there a mention, repost? Is there, is there a post you made that you feel is good enough to be here? Repost it, right? So let's go back to my other screen. So I just wanted us to see how important it is to have recommendations, endorsements. These are things that really pushes your page, right? These are things that really pushes your page, and we want to always ensure that you are very visible. Now, the other one is the content strategy. So I won't be going back to my page again because we've already kind of reviewed it. So you need to post weekly, at least once in a week. Share insights, case studies, right? Reshare people's posts also, and make sure that you're commenting under people's comment section as well. You also want to engage strategically. Yes, I've mentioned it. Comment under people's posts, whether thought leaders in your industry, if there's somebody you really admire, you don't like, I would love to work with this person sometime in the future. Be very active under their comment section. Show the strength of your knowledge, right? The scope of your knowledge and all of that. And use LinkedIn articles as well, right? It's really good. It's a long form content and it's really, it helps you with reach, right? So you need to post thought leadership content that would position you as that person, like I said earlier, right? So please ensure that you're posting consistently and you're posting strategically. All right. So lastly, this is the part that is very exciting, because why am I saying it's exciting? Right. Oh, sorry. Did I take this off my screen? Okay. Great. Why did I say this is exciting? Because there are some things here that we don't know that we can do. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Now, the advanced side of things, you need to have a custom URL, right? So if you check my page right here, it always carries my name, right? So I'll briefly show us how to do that. Another part that I know people would always ask about is how to, okay, let me put it this way. You see open to work, it is not advisable for you to make it public, right? It is not advisable for you to make it public. It's advisable for you to only make it visible to recruiters. Now, by visible, I'm not saying it will show, but LinkedIn will just prioritize you as well. So how do you set that up? I would show us from my account, but the only thing is my account is that of a recruiter, not a job seeker. So, but I will tell us the step by step of how to actually do that. So I have it right here. the step by step of how to do that. So when you go to your account, right? When you go on your account, just a minute. I think let me reshare my LinkedIn again. I didn't want to reshare my LinkedIn, but I think at this point I have to reshare it so you can see visually what I mean exactly. So let me just reshare my LinkedIn. So once you go to your LinkedIn, like you see on my page, so that you know exactly the part that I'm referring to. So you see this part that says open to. This part that says open to. When you click on it, okay, let me scroll down a bit. Okay, you'd see that it says hiring, but in the case of a job seeker, it would say job opportunities. Yeah, I think that's what it says. Let me check that again. So I don't have the job seeker account. I don't even know how this switched, right? But this is just what I see here. So so instead of hiring that you see right here, you're going to see open to jobs, right? So when you click right there on that open to jobs, you're going to be redirected, or rather finding a new job, right? So when you click on it, you're going to be redirected to where you can set it up. So what you need to do is to set, or rather choose the job title you are interested in. You need to set it that way, right? Don't just click on the banner, because I think there is a way people randomly just select banner and just put it on their page. So you need to be very strategic about it. So when you set it, you click on open to, then click on finding a new job. You're redirected to choose job titles you're interested in. Once you choose the job title you're interested in, select the job location. You can pick remote, hybrid, or specific cities. Depends on what works for you. But these are the options: remote, hybrid, or specific cities. What works for you? What do you want exactly, right? Then set start date, like, oh, immediately, I'm flexible, and all of that, right? Then you need to choose job types: full-time, contract, internship. Which one are you open to, right? Part-time, which one exactly are you open to? Then once you set that, the next thing is for you to control who sees it, right? So it can be visible to everybody, or you can just select recruiters only or all LinkedIn members, right? So if you want to be discreet, it is recommended for you to set it to recruiters only. So again, it is very easy. All you just need to do is come to your page right here, open to, like you see on my screen, click on it. Once you click on it, scroll, instead of hiring that you see on my own, you're going to see find a new job, and then click on find a new job. Yeah, click on find a new job, and then you can do all of the settings that I mentioned. It's pretty much self-explanatory, right? Sorry. It's pretty much self-explanatory, and just follow it like that. Then make it discreet, select recruiters only, and that is it. Once you set it, just save it and you're good to go. All right, so let's go back to the slide I was sharing earlier. So give me a thumbs up if that's very clear before we proceed. Give me a thumbs up. Awesome, thank you very much, Esther. So, and please, I'd really like us to, implement most of the things that we're seeing on this call today, right? All of these things that we're sharing, I would really, really love us to implement it. And pretty much, thank you very much, everyone. So the featured section also, the way I showed, you saw my featured section where it shows, oh, featured in one of the this and that and all of that. Make sure that you have projects you've worked on, portfolio links, presentations, like impact. Pretty much, I always love to say that section, let it show impact. Let it not scream, I need a job. No. Let it not scream that form of desperation. No. Let it scream value. Let it scream somebody that is in this space, knows what he's doing or what she is doing, right? Let it scream all of that, right? Because this moves you from being a job seeker to a professional with proof. So you need to make sure portfolio link, what you've done, where you've done it, how you've done it, problems you've solved, all of that. Let your post, it's strategic. So back up your intentionality with strategy at all times. Back up, because intentionality without strategy is just going to be like filling a basket with water, like you are still pouring it. You're intentional, but how are you doing it? Pouring it in a basket instead of a bucket that can hold it, right? That can help you achieve the result. The purpose of pouring that water into that basket is to fill that bucket to the brim. But if you're pouring it into the basket, it's pretty much just flowing, wasted effort, right? So if you're going to do so much as dedicating your time to revamp your LinkedIn and optimize it, then you want to do it strategically. You want to do it in such a way that you can actually get a result from this, right? It's the same thing we always say also. For you to be on this call today, it's because there is something about this session that you want to gain from, right? So if you're here, please don't just listen and then, oh, okay, well, yeah, the session is over. We go back to being how we were or something. No, make sure that, I mean, you've dedicated your time. It's the same thing I say with when people take courses. You paid money to take a course. You dedicated your time, energy, effort, maybe sometimes even sleepless nights because maybe you had something to finish up with, right? And you stayed up all night. You dedicated and committed all that time and money to making sure that you take a course. Now you're struggling to land a job. Why should that happen, right? So you've done some things. You've taken the first step, which is taking a course. Then please finish strong. Take an internship, which brings me to the next one. Your project section needs to show collaborative work, not what you've learned somewhere, right? We had a mentorship session for our interns this week on Thursday, and pretty much what we're talking about was if they are job ready or not. So we're testing job readiness from the people that had their pitch, interview pitch, to those that we checked their LinkedIn and everything like that. And one of the newest interns we have at Amdari, her LinkedIn is just, I just took a foundational course in project management. That was 6 months ago. That was the most recent post. I just finished a course in this. I just finished a course. Everything on her LinkedIn is I finished a course. Nothing screams project. Nothing screams collaboration. And I said, and you're looking to get a job as a project manager, right? But your page is not showing a project manager. It's showing someone who is still learning. It's saying a project manager that has not managed a project, that has not managed a team, that has not worked with a real deadline, right? That has not been exposed to whether Scrum, Agile, Sprints, and everything like that. It's just theory right now. If I see your page and then I see, let's say David's page, David Enogo on the call, right? Let's say he's a project manager, and then I see his page and his page is screaming collaborative work. I worked on this project with my team where we had a UI UX designer, we had a business analyst, we had to work on this event landing page. It was for this business. We were not getting this, so we needed to create an awareness campaign. So for us to achieve that awareness campaign, we needed an actual event, right? So we came together, worked on it. At the end of the day, 500 people showed up. It was a physical event. Some people joined us virtually. The landing page was built in 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. You're talking about it. Of course, you don't have to say everything in one post. Today's post might be about how you guys worked around, you know, using the Agile framework. Maybe this first page went live, the next page went live, and all of that, right? Or, oh, today you're talking about the team, right? And how there was a miscommunication sometime. I always say this, every time we post, it doesn't have to be the beautiful side of our work. Honestly, everything that makes us who we are those little mistakes that we learned from, right? All those little mistakes, if anything, trust me, those things signal proper experience. Imagine talking about a time you worked on a project and you guys were almost going to exceed a deadline, or maybe not exceed a deadline now. Maybe as a data analyst, you guys had these marketing reports that you worked on, right? And there were discrepancies or there were some things that were just not aligning and everything like that. And from that marketing report, it was probably an oversight. Trust me, there is no way you would have an oversight again next time. And that whoever is seeing your post is like, they are reading. Now, you posting about that oversight, it's not you saying that you're that weak. It's you saying that a lesson was learned from this. That lesson is the gold. That lesson is what makes you solid and experienced, right? Oh, I remember when I started as this, there were a lot of things I learned. Or sometimes your post might be lessons I learned on my path to becoming a cybersecurity professional. And then you're listing the different things you learned along the way. That's showing experience, because as you're listing all those things, you're either talking collaboration, you're talking team members, people you worked with, you're talking actual project value, right? And you're talking companies that you worked with. All these little things signal a lot of things to recruiters. So most times it's not the wins that you need to post on LinkedIn. Don't wait until you get that admission to study your masters, or when you get that job with Deloitte, or don't wait until then, right? All those little projects that you're working on, those things that you're learning while working on it, it's one of the things that really, really helps you. Now, another thing I'd love to talk about is the analytics side of things. Regularly checking who viewed your profile. This is very important because a lot of times we see people who view us. Now, when you see that recruiters are viewing your profile, or people in a higher authority, right, that build it, you can tell that, okay, maybe they want to hire. Now, my profile does not say HR. My profile says co-founder, right? Now, if I view anybody's profile, it's probably because we're trying to hire somebody for that role, right? So different people can view your profile for different purposes. So if they are not reaching out to you, how can you make them reach out to you, right? How can you make them reach out to you? So make sure that you're checking it so that you can adjust keywords if you're not getting exactly what you want. Your LinkedIn is attractive, but are they sending you a DM? No, what can be done? So recruiters don't just hire who's best, they just hire who's visible. Because you can be awesome, Michael, for example, you can be perfect at what you do. Like what they say now, oh, my work will speak for me. Your work will not speak for you if you don't toot your own horn, right? Nobody's going to sing your praises as much as you would. Nobody knows your story as much as you do. So you need to be the one to tell your own story. You need to be the one to put yourself out there. So if you're not doing it, nobody would. Is it people that don't want you to identify how awesome you are that will now know, right? So you need to be the one to put yourself out there. So you can be so perfect at what you do, but the recruiters don't know, they don't see it. That's why they don't hire who is best. They hire who is visible, credible, and relevant. Now, you are visible, but are there things signaling credibility? Are there things signaling relevance? If nothing is signaling this, then you might lose them. So your LinkedIn must make you that person, right? So you might be asking, where do I start from? Omomi? Simple action plan. Like I said, please don't just join this session to just listen, but take action. Week one, optimize your LinkedIn profile from your headline to your about section, skills, everything we've talked about, right? Week two, start posting. Post once a week, please. Meaningful content, right? And also, if you're commenting, comment on that post in the industries you want to work in or fields you want to work in, or under the comment section of people that you admire and you know that, oh, this person has that capacity to hire me. Top leaders, recruiters, all of them, comment under their post, right? Then collect endorsements from your past colleagues, even recommendation. Make sure you reach out to them to give you endorsement. And then with four, directly message recruiters, engage with company posts and all of that. Give me a thumbs up if you'll be trying any of this. Just give me a thumbs up. If you're trying any of this, give me a thumbs up. Thank you, May. Thank you, Jacqueline. Sydney, Jude, thank you. All right, amazing. So we have a lot of people that will be trying this out. But if the challenge is, okay, Omo, you've been saying so much about this, but the field I want to get a job in, I do not have experience in it. How do I put projects? Where do I get projects? Now, Amdari, like I said earlier, is an internship program that collapses the learning curve, right? You see that traditional learning of theory, theory, theory. No, you don't get that at Amdari. You get actual experience at Amdari. So you've taken a course, you're struggling to get a job because you don't have experience, because you don't have a UK recruiter to back you up. Amdari gives you all of that. It is safe. It's a safe space to make mistakes. Remember, I said earlier, a controlled environment allows you to make mistakes that are not costly, right? Because you'll be working on projects where you are properly managed by your team lead, because we understand that you're just starting out, right? We understand that you're just starting out and you need to gain proper experience and you need guidance. Then you also get to work on real tools, real collaboration and deliverables. And you also get to intern for 4 months, which you can extend if you choose to. And this internship gives you reference letter, right? Now, 7 ways to gain experience. We've been saying this: internship, open source contributions, volunteer for non-profit organizations, freelance projects, hackathon and competitions, case studies, or build and document your own projects, right? And taking a look at this survey, you notice that people without experience who have been hired is just 6%. But the remaining 94%, you need to have at least 3 months experience, right? You need to have at least 3 months experience. So experience is very much needed. Why is experience needed? You are not the only one in the job market. Recruiters are taking a look at different people's CV. So if your CV is void of what they want to hire for, or your LinkedIn is void of that and projects and everything that signals this person has done it before, they will move on to another person. They'll move on to maybe Yetunde. Her CV says she's a data engineer. She has worked as a data engineer in this place, and this is what she has done. She has built ETL pipeline, she has extracted data from this cloud source, she has done this, she has worked with Azure, she has worked with AWS, she has worked with Docker. Her CV says she has done that, not she has learned it, right? And it's saying she did it in this organization or that organization within this period and that period. She has something that says that, and then she can reach out to a recruiter that can also back that up. She gets the job easily. But then there is another CV that is not saying all of this. They would not call you back. Imagine me trying to hire you for a job, and then your CV is saying that you worked as a product manager, and then this is a data engineering role. Like the person I saw on LinkedIn that I mentioned earlier, I'm looking for a data scientist. Your CV is saying, your LinkedIn is saying project manager or product rather, right? So, and one thing I always say is, why are you struggling to get a job if you are taking a course in data engineering, data analytics, cybersecurity, data science, HR analytics, project management, business analysis? Because as we can see here, this is a report from the World Economics Forum, right? Under what's it called now? Future of jobs. And we can see that these are the jobs in demand. So if anybody is struggling to land a job as a PM, as a business analyst, it's probably because you don't have the needed experience. So get the experience. Amdari has made it easy. Organizations are always saying, oh, we do not have the resources to take interns, or we do not have the resources to accommodate, to pay any intern and all of that. It's a challenge getting an internship, right? I even had to interview for my own internship, and honestly, they only took one person. Sorry, two of us that period, right? So it's not like organizations are that open to take interns, because how many capacity do they really have, right? That's why Amdari said, let's build something that gives you access to get a job, right? So we cover data analytics, like I mentioned earlier. So the tools that you will get to work with, not learn, right? Work with. So as you're working with it, you're also learning, because we have tool training. So the tools you get to work with in the course of the internship at Amdari under data analytics, right, is Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, just to mention a few. And you get to work either on one project, you can work as a data analyst, another product analyst, supply chain analyst, again, to mention a few. Now, you will be working across different industries. Your project today might be in logistics and supply chain. Another project you're working on next time might be in FMCG. Another one can be in real estate, e-commerce, just to mention a few, right? So the experience part you'll be gaining knowledge in is technology experience, data visualization, reporting, data modeling, to mention a few. Then we have data science. You'll be working with tools like SQL, Azure, GCP, Python, AWS, to mention just a few. And you'll be working either as a forecasting analyst, big data analyst, computer vision analyst, machine learning analyst, and it goes on, as you can see on my screen. And then experience area is data cleaning and transformation, exploratory data analysis, machine learning. So you'll be working on projects that would cover this area, right? That would cover this area for you. The same thing for data engineering, SQL, Azure, PySpark, GitHub, GCP, AWS, Docker, to mention a few. And you will be working on some projects as a BI engineer, data migration specialist, ETL developer, AWS cloud engineer, Azure cloud engineer, GCP cloud engineer, and all that. And some of the projects you'll be working in would also allow you to build experience in building and deploying data pipelines, database versus data warehousing, modeling, and all of that, right? Same thing for business analysis. You get to work with Power BI, Draw.io, Notion, Miro, Jira, SQL, Excel, just to mention a few, right? And also, you would also get to work on some projects as business data analyst, process analyst, functional analyst, systems analyst, requirements analyst, etc. The projects you work on would expose you to process modeling and improvement, data analysis and reporting, stakeholder management. These projects are real-life projects that expose you, and you will not be working alone. You'll be working in a team, and you'll have a team lead. It's a proper work environment, a proper workspace where you get to develop soft skills like communication skills, you get to develop problem solving skills. This project will push you to build these skills. These are skills that help us keep the job, remember? The technical skills can get you in the soft, but right now, even the technical skills alone cannot get you in. You need an addition of the soft skill. I had a session last week where I was talking about soft skills and how to communicate them without saying this, like saying I'm a problem solver without saying I'm a problem solver. You give an instance of when you guys were working on a project and there was this issue that you guys faced, and this was how you guys came out of it. You can even signal taking initiative from just that message, right? So these are ways that the internship is going to develop you. For project management, you'll be working with ClickUp, Jira, Confluence, Notion, Microsoft projects, Trello, to mention a few. And you work on some projects as a Scrum Master. You work on some projects as Lean Agile Coach, Agile Project Manager, and it goes on and on. And areas of expertise that you gain is project planning and scheduling, budgeting and resource allocation, stakeholder and team management, etc. Right? The same thing for the cybersecurity guys. So we broke down cybersecurity into 3 areas of specialization. So this is the last part. So these are the career paths that we focus on, right? The ones I've listed and this last 3. So if you're coming in as a SOC analyst, you'll be working with Splunk, Wireshark, Autopsy, Microsoft Defender, Nessus, etc. And some projects will have you working as a SOC analyst, security engineer, digital forensic analyst, security compliance analyst, etc. Another project will have you working as, the areas that you gain experience in are security monitoring and incident detection, threat intelligence, log analysis and packet inspection, endpoint detection, etc. And for ethical hacking, you'd work with tools like Nito, Nmap, Metasploit, Kali Linux, etc. And Burp Suite. You'd work on some projects as White Hat Hacker, security consultant, exploit developer, security analyst, etc. And you would gain experience working on projects that helps you work on vulnerability assessment and exploitation, web app penetration testing, network penetration testing, etc. Red team, blue team experience, governance, risk, and compliance, GRC. On this, you'd work with tools like privacy tools, GRR, Linux, OpenGRC, OpenSCAP, Excel, to mention a few. And you would work on some projects as, okay, I had this is a mistake from my end, right? And this experience would also expose you to working on projects like risk assessment and compliance audits, policy and procedure development, vendor risk management, etc. Now, one thing I need to mention is you don't need to get, you don't get hired because you want the job. You get hired because the employer believes you're ready to add value. And that's what this internship does. It gives you everything you need to show that you're ready to add value. So in the course of this internship, you're developing your technical skills further, and then your employability skills from the CV that we revamp for you, the LinkedIn that we optimize for you, the interview prep session, the mock interview session. There is also the one-on-one interview session. Say you have an interview coming up in 2 weeks' time, send a message to the employability specialist at Amdari and your team lead. I have an interview coming up. I would need to be prepped. They prep you for the interview. You're good to go to get a job, right? So essentially, that's what you get from this internship. These are more and more people that have gotten jobs in the course of this internship. This is Toby. You can check them out on LinkedIn. I've been showing us a couple of them. We also played a couple of videos at the start of this session from people who have landed jobs. And this is Toby. He got a data science job. This is LinkedIn. You can see what he has here. He got a data science job in the UK after his work experience at Amdari. In the course of his work experience. So this is, we also give reference letter I mentioned. You can see right here that this says, Olayinka has nominated you to provide an employment reference for their employment in to Healthcare Ireland. And this is from another person. This person already got a job before the company reached out to us. And they said the above named has been offered a position as a systems analyst with our company and has provided your details as a referee. Sorry, I don't know why my hand is going off key. So that's how, that's just more and more testimonials from people that have gotten jobs and those that will be giving reference letter. This is another interview I had with a couple of our interns that have gotten jobs in the course of the internship. I only say in the course of the internship because they'll get the job 3 months in, 4 months in. It's just always beautiful to see. Andrew got a data science job, Larry got a data science job in the UK, both of them. And so you might be wondering what they did differently. Honestly, they just worked on real world projects. They had access to tech mentors. They got to learn to speak the workplace language, learn work ethic. So now we know you've worked in other organizations, other industries, you're transitioning into tech. It's important to also have experience in that field. Because imagine working in healthcare, now you want to transition into tech. That experience is not valid here, right? You need to build an experience that says, I am a data analyst, right? Not I am a what's it called now? Not I am a not I'm a caregiver that's taking a course and wants to get a job. No, don't let your CV or your LinkedIn say that about you. They also got visible on LinkedIn. This session has been about LinkedIn, and they knew what hiring managers actually want, right? Understanding exactly what they're looking out for really would help you. So once you've learned, you've taken the course, you need to package, gain the experience, revamp your CV, get mentored on how to land the job, LinkedIn optimization, interview prep, job reference letter, and on the job support, and then start applying. Why is apply last? Because you need to be prepared, and this is how you get prepared. Don't go from here to here. Don't jump. You need to go from here to here. Follow it like that. Make sure you apply when you're ready, so that you applying immediately after you've learned does not make you have issues of imposter syndrome. You start wondering, I don't get the job. This is I'm not good enough. What's going on? No, it's not that you're not good enough. You're just not ready yet. So make yourself ready before you apply. Have projects that signals ready, credibility, value offering, and all that. Now, to join the internship cohort at Amdari, the next one is starting on the 6th of September, next Saturday. And we only have 5 more slots left. And you're in luck. You still have discount. We have 5 more slots left, and that's because people have been enrolling from the beginning of this month. So it's pretty much closing the slots in the next couple of days. So if you would love to secure your spot, be among these 5% to enroll. You can enroll on this call or enroll by tomorrow latest, so that you do not lose out on the slot and the discount. Now, what is the discount? This internship is currently for 4 months, like I said. Now, it's originally 3 months, but you're paying the price of 3 months to get 4 months experience. But you can extend your duration, and you can pay in 3 installments. Now, let me break it down. The original fee for this internship is £500, as you can see here. But we're running a discount that allows you to pay £390. These £390 can be paid in 3 installments. So if you pay today, your next payment will be in a month's time, and your next payment after that will be the month after that, right? So you can break down your payment into 3 installments. That's you spreading your payment across 3 months. So for you to secure your spot, all you have to do is click the link that I'll be sharing with us right now, and you will just be redirected to the enrollment center. So once we're done here, I will show us how to, I'll start taking questions from everybody on the call. But let me drop the link for us. Okay, let me just copy that and drop it in the chat. So for you to secure your spot, all you have to do is click on the enrollment link that I dropped in the chat. You will get redirected to this page, which is the enrollment center. Scroll down, click on any program you want to pay for. Every program is here from the list I mentioned earlier. So let's say you want to go for data analytics 4 months. All you have to do is click on data analytics, and you are redirected to this page that is currently loading, right? You're redirected to this page where you can easily secure your spot. So you can also change the currency in case you're not in the UK, right? can change the currency to any one that you want. Okay, sorry. You can see USD, AED, and all that. So you can see 3 monthly payments, £130. So you get to pay £130 every month for 3 months. Now click on Secure Spot. Once you do that, you can see the breakdown. £130 today, £130 next month, £130 in October. Click on Proceed. You're redirected here. Fill your name, email address, phone number, and click on Proceed. Once you do that, you're prompted to fill your card details. The minute you fill your card details and your payment is successful, you are redirected to this page where you get to fill the enrollment form. Please ensure you fill the enrollment form because that is how we get to send you your job offer, your internship confirmation letter and everything regarding the internship, like the resources, the link to your WhatsApp group for your team, the welcome kit, who your team lead is, who you'll be working with, and the onboarding link for your onboarding meeting, right? So you're redirected here, fill in your name, last name, email address, current status, phone number, click on next. Which internship program are you interested in? Select the program, upload your payment receipt. It's typically sent to your email. What name? Kindly state the name of the account you want to pay into. Type that as well. Please note that after receiving your welcome kit, all installment, blah, 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 just read the terms and conditions. Click yes, you've read it. Select 4 months, click next. Then once you come here, select when you want to start, 6th of September or 4th of October. How did you find out about Amdari? Select it. What influenced your decision to subscribe? Select that and click on submit. Once you click on submit, your payment is successful and you are okay. This is surprising. This page is not showing. I was actually showing a different page. I just realized that a different page is showing. So it's a form that was showing. Let me stop presenting so I can show you. Okay. But yeah, essentially that's how you secure your spot. So I'll take questions right now. So the good thing about the platform is that we have different. So if you have any questions for me, please raise your hand as I'll be taking questions right now. So this is the form that I was filling. So just fill the form like I mentioned, click on submit and you're good to go. All right. So we have a free portfolio website on the Amdari website, and we also have the job board where you get to apply to different jobs at different times. So I'll take questions now. So if you have any question for me, please indicate by raising your hand. And for you to enroll, my colleague has dropped the link. It's only 5 slots available, and you can pay in 3 installments: £130 today, £130 next month, and £130 in 2 months' time. So if anybody has a question for me, please go ahead, raise your hand, and so Emanuela, Michael, Idowu, Yetude, who has a question for me? Adedamola, do we have questions?